United Nations General Assembly Special Session on Drugs, Afghanistan, presented by Scott Spencer. On the agenda, what is Afghanistan's role in the drug trade? What are some initiatives the UN has previously addressed the Afghanistan drug trade? What are the routes of drugs leaving Afghanistan? How the opium trade fuels instability? What are some proposed solutions Afghanistan would like to address the UN General Assembly? Afghanistan's role in the drug trade. Afghanistan accounted for 90% of the global supply of opium. More disturbing that besides previous initiatives, in 2016, the area of opium cultivation rose by 10%. In counter, in 2016, eradication efforts have fallen by 91%. And according to the UN, Afghanistan's importance as a source of cannabis resin for world markets might be growing as more farmers switch to the crop. United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. UNODC launched a Paris Initiative in September 2004. The Paris Pact Initiative was the first phase, was principally a regional coordination program for countries affected by Afghanistan heroin trafficking and concentrated principally on strengthening border controls, continuing to develop regional cooperation, and on activities within the field. Triangular Initiative aimed to enhance cross-border cooperation in the field of counter-narcotics enforcement among Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. The Triangular Initiative has been a major stimulus in drawing together ministers and senior officials from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran to discuss and agree upon measures to improve cross-border cooperation in countering narcotics trafficking and the smuggling of precursor chemicals to and from Afghanistan. The Rainbow Strategy was a strategy consisted of several operational plans. Each plan addresses key targets, allowing for constructive engagement with prime regional actors, facilitating and supplementing interventions for national governments and other Paris partner pacts. The Central Asian Regional and Information Coordination Center aimed to facilitate information and intelligence exchange and analysis, and to assist in the coordination of operational activities of the various law enforcement agencies in the region, to include police, drug control agencies, customs, border guards, and special services, and thereby effectiveness in countering drug trafficking. These initiatives were launched by the United Nations and continue today. Here you see a map of the opium trade routes from Afghanistan. The majority of opium is shipped via countries' Afghanistan borders, primarily Pakistan, Iran, and countries from the former Soviet Union which bordered to the north of Afghanistan. How the opium trade fuels instability. Since the Taliban insurgency, according to an article by Hashim Wadadar, which appeared in Diplomat, today around 40% of the Taliban funding comes from opium, which enables them to fight the Afghan government and international communities such as NATO. Most of the Taliban in Helmand and Kandahar provinces, which are located in southern Afghanistan, are engaged in the drug trade, fighting for profit rather than religion and ideology. The Taliban demand taxes on their terms, no matter what the farmers grow. If farmers decide to produce something other than opium, the Taliban's response is to ask them to pay the equivalent amount that they would have paid had they been growing opium. Since the Taliban and other insurgent groups are financially benefiting from the drug trade, the government of Afghanistan must divert resources from critical areas of development to fight the effects of the drug trade within our borders. Thus, precious resources are slowing development of the country. Proposed solutions. In reference to the map of trade routes, the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan would like to propose increased funding for border security by the modernization of monitoring efforts for smuggling, equipment at border crossings such as scanners, and continued training of Customs and Border Control officers. Also, increased funding to introduce high-value crops, which will yield competitive profits for farmers who are growing opium as an alternative. The encouragement and funding of anti-drug programs in consumer countries to reduce citizen consumption of drugs, which will in turn decrease demand from supplier countries such as Afghanistan. The Islamic Republic of Afghanistan would like to encourage multinational pharmaceutical corporations to invest in the certification and buyer program to procure opiates for pharmaceutical purposes where profits can benefit local farmers, with the hopes of keeping profits out of insurgent groups, such as the Taliban and Islamic State.